What's good, everybody? This is CreamSpinachYo, and I am bringing you a continuation of the last episode of my Road to Commander series. So this is episode 5, and we're talking about my second part of my rankings of non-comedy television. And as a caveat to this episode, if you watch the first episode, you'll know that I cannot multitask in this game, so you'll hear topics that are not related to math and science. And on top of that, I am not that good at this game. So this is one of my really shitty games, but as in Road to Commander style, you know, you can't skip them and you can't back out. So here we go. Now, in the previous episode, we talked about my ranking 1 and ranking 2 for my favorite television shows, and now we're going to talk about 3 and 4, and if we have time, we're going to talk about the bonuses, the bonus section for that. Now, my third ranking for my favorite non-comedy type television is The Sopranos. And this should not be of a surprise. The gritty realism of this show is what makes it unbelievably great. Now, if you are unfamiliar with this show follows Tony Soprano and his New Jersey mob family, and kind of his, I wouldn't say day-to-day activities, but it kind of shows his life and what happens throughout his tenure in the mob. Now, granted, this show is below The Wire and Breaking Bad, as you'll see in my last episode, and the reason why it's below is because, good God, that finale was such shit. We all know that by now. Some people think it was great, but that cut to black that ruined it for me. I know it was supposed to leave it kind of open-ended, but it did not work for me one bit. Now, the world that these writers have created in The Sopranos is unbelievably detailed, and just to be quite frank with it, you're not gonna find a single TV show now that has that detail anymore. There's no fucking way you're gonna find that, and that's just, I mean, what they did, what the world that was crafted in The Sopranos was a labor of love. And you can really see that. I mean, it was so detailed. You're not going to find anything like that. Now, there is a big problem with the show. And that is that it's unbelievably cynical. Like, holy God. Like, it's incredibly cynical. It made me just depressed about watching it. Like, I was just, like, I loved it, but it was so negative. And it's so cynical that it's just, I needed to take breaks, you know. I needed to watch something else for a while, and I probably, I know I watched some of the shows that you're gonna see in my top comedy shows episode, but it was, oh good God, it was tough. But if you can get past that cynicism, and some people love the cynicism, I used to love it. It's what makes it, raises that realism bar in terms of that facet of life. But if you get past that, the writing is great. The writing is very well done, and the story is excellent. However, there are some episodes that interrupt with the pacing of the show. There are a lot of episodes where, you know, there's something big going on between the New Jersey, between, you know, Tony and Juniors and the New York people, and instead of continuing that, it'll do an episode about Tony's dreams. And it's just like, come on, I mean, like, finish that and then we can focus on the aftermath of that. But also on top of that, there are several characters that I just don't give a shit about, and there are also many characters that just either rub me the wrong way. Example, this is Tony Soprano's mother in the first season. Good God, she drives me crazy. And it makes the characters tough to care about. Now, what this show does, which I think it's very well done, is that it kind of portrays, you know, Tony Soprano is trying to balance all these spinning plates, and, you know, the idea is, no matter how hard he fucking tries, he won't be able to change anything about the people he's working with and the people who are below him. Like, it's just, he's finding it so difficult. It says that, like, you know, nothing will change. Like, it's just, everything is persistent, and no matter how hard you try, it just is not going to happen the way you want it. And this, you know, that ties into the cynicism of the show. Now, On to my fourth ranking. My fourth best TV show is we're going to be talking about Mad Men. Yeah. Mad Men doesn't. If you're unfamiliar with Mad Men, it takes place in the '60s. About advertising people on Madison Street, hence the name Mad Men. And now the show doesn't focus on violence. Quite the opposite, actually. The show tends to focus heavily on story, plot, and character development, and it works extremely well. And it's an incredibly detailed world. If you aren't familiar, one of the writers for The Sopranos created this show. Now, the interactions between the characters is what makes the show absolutely excellent. But what loses my attention does get lost sometimes because sometimes I just get bored with all this. So the pacing is quite slow, but the characters are top notch. The acting is incredible, and if you're into that slow pacing, it's never gonna disappoint. And that's all I got. We're gonna have the bonuses next episode, which is gonna be great. So feel free to subscribe to the channel, like the video. Thanks for watching. Feel free to follow on Twitter at CreamSpinachYo, and as always, have a great day.